He has some Zerglings on the ground, but he's definitely going to try to use both the ground and air forces to harass as much as he can. He has now 5 Mutalisks up in the air. He's not going to be able to support them for too long, so he's definitely going to harass as much as he can and try to get another expansion going. That's exactly what he needs to do, and going to try to do some serious harassment to Leta here. Mutalisk meeting those forces on the ground, going to try to pick off as much as he can. Also moving in with his Zerglings, so dual prong attack. Although, man, all those Zerglings get completely melted by that fire bat there. Gets 3 kills off and definitely did a lot of damage with his splash damage that they do. Turrets, meanwhile, up everywhere now for Leta in a bunker instead of his natural now as well. Hydra is now coming up for GGPlay, so he could be transitioning, or he's thinking of transitioning to Mutal Lurker, although I'm still thinking about this economic situation. He definitely can't hold this up for very long. He needs another base fairly soon, forcing the Marines to stim there. Although that's not too much, just making medics waste a little bit of energy. We're going to see Mutalisks. There are actually no forces there. Nothing but that bunker and that one turret. They're definitely going to be able to take. Although no, there are 2 turrets in the back though. The one turret inside the natural is going to go down. Mutalisks, meanwhile, trying to kill some SCVs. I definitely saw one Mutalisk die there. Scan goes off. Kills an Overlord there. Ooh, too bad. That's exactly what GGPlay doesn't need. Meanwhile, GGPlay is going to try to take this 5 o'clock base at the corner there. He's definitely going to need to hold that, and the 3rd gas will be very necessary for him at this point. He has a large force of Mutalisks, I will give him that, and he's definitely going to try to use it to harass as much as he can. Ooh, takes down a large force of Marines there. Just going to try to fly him around. He has a nice large grouping, just all mixed together, and Leta doesn't have too many forces out. Just trying to get an economic situation going and just get a decent amount of medic marines going. We're going to see if Leta manages to push out and do any decent damage. GGPlay, meanwhile, has 4 hatcheries. His 4th hatchery is that base, and the Queen's Nest also coming down. So we're going to see what he does with this, whether he's going to go for Queens or whether he's just going to go all the way to Hive Tech. I don't think Hive Tech is viable at this point. Starport, meanwhile, now coming up for Leta. I'm going to look forward to seeing what that happens. I don't think that's drop. With those Mutalisks around, you definitely don't want to risk of dropping. That could be Wraiths or Valkyries, actually, though, to counter air forces. And those Zerglings and Mutalisks now meeting those Marines pretty well, doing some decent damage, taking out quite a few, not taking too much damage. Well, there was a Mutalisk there that died, though, and quite a few probably damaged. You got to be very careful with the Mutalisk grouping. Those Marines, especially when weapons are on upgraded and stim, can do a lot of damage. Hydras, meanwhile, on the ground, and now an extractor being built, so we're going to have 3 gas bases soon up from GGPlay. Transferring those drones around, this Mutal is still flying all over the place. Going to see what kind of damage they manage to do. Lurker eggs being morphed now, so Mutal Lurker on the way, and Hive upgrades. So we're not going to see any Queens yet. I don't know if GGPlay is going to try to go for Queens. I don't know if he has enough economy or enough, you know, all in all micromanagement to do that. If he has, it's apparently very difficult to add a Queen to already a large army, because he's going to have Lurkers, he has Zerglings, he's going to have those Mutalisks, and he has to micro all that plus macro up. Meanwhile, he's trying to set up lurker traps. They're going to try to meet all those forces as much as they can, and we're going to see if they walk right into a lurker. There is no side vessels, though. Those Marines, they've just walk right into a lurker trap. First point of Marines definitely get taken out. GGPlay could have waited a little bit, possibly try to catch more Marines in that, but decided that, you know, just going to foil Leta for now instead. Could have caught Leta in a slightly worse position for him. That's, well, there's a reason he's a pro player, and I am not. 4th barracks, meanwhile, not coming up for leader, so he's going really heavy. And I've realized now that I was a retard 2 minutes ago about that starport, that of course is for science vessels. So never mind my retardation, it happens sometimes. Tanks, meanwhile, now out for Leta, so he's definitely going to try to push on that sunken line, although he has to defend those tanks from Mutalisks are not going to try to push it. Marines surround pretty well. We're going to see, though, what those Marines manage to accomplish. If he manages to catch those tanks, that is a pretty good position for him. A 2nd engineering bay, meanwhile, coming up for Leta, so he's definitely going to go for dual-pronged upgrades. Going to try to get armor and weapons going as high up as he can. Meanwhile, another creep colony going a little bit further forward at GGPlay's base. Just basically, that's going to be the 2nd colony that's going to take the preemptive tank fire. Muto is still flying around. One, they're having a lot of kills. Defiler mine now coming out, so those defilers are going to be very necessary. Going to definitely help GGPlay deal with his medic marines, although the tanks are still going to be a bother, and there are a few firebase and drooping. Scourge now out, so they're definitely ready there to meet the science vessel. Scourge do get spotted by an SCV there. Some SCVs will travel and get taken out. Science vessel should be on the way fairly soon. That sunken now going to go down. Lots of lurkers there as well. A bunch of Hydras now being morphed as well. Science vessel now finally out. And Leta not quite moving. He moved a little bit back, now he's moving forward again. Those Scourges waiting there in position. everywhere. We're going to try to wait for the perfect time. He's going to hide it among his Mutalisks. So if he flies in, he might be able to catch that off guard. If he goes that scan going off, getting the position going. GGPlay trying to advance as much as he can, moving in. And the Scourge dual land on the Science Vessel. Oh, the Science Vessel does manage to radiate. And oh, GGPlay. Ooh, unfortunately separating very badly and flying his Mutalisk right back into the irradiated Mutalisk. So, point for point there. Science Vessel did get taken out. Oh, they did manage to get off very good irradiate. Now Defiler Mound is up, and we're just going to wait for Consume. Yeah, to get ready so that he can eat his fellow Zerglings to get those Dark Swarms going. Tanks are shelling this position, shelling those Lurkers there on the ground. The Science Vessel, another one up. Ooh, a Lurker Trap, meanwhile, being set down there in the middle. We're going to see how GGPlay uses that to his advantage. Lots of forces in GGPlay's base, so they have to be very careful. Those tanks are slowly moving in. They are going to slowly be able to take out all those Lurkers, those Sungun colonies, and is definitely going to counter this. Meanwhile, I think Leta might actually be moving at the 5 o'clock base there. A fan they're praying. Defiler, though, is out. Darkstorm does go off, and a Radiant goes off on one of the Lurkers. The rest of the Lurkers are, however, going to burrow and try to catch these tanks. Do kill quite a few Marines on the ground. Meanwhile, Leta apparently is going to go for the 5 o'clock base, and almost nothing to defend there, but some Zerglings. No sunken colonies there. Meanwhile, another the Lurker rated finally died. Science, I believe, did go down. Lurkers, however, dying all in transition. Darkstorm's still there. And now the Lurkers from the back did move in. And there's nothing to spot them, so they're going to be able to take out something. I don't think Leta actually moved it on the 5 o'clock base. He's just waiting outside. There is a... Now sunken colonies just coming down. There is a Defiler there. Oh, Defiler does this thing just in time, so definitely those Marines are not going to move in there. There are Zerglings right under that Dark Swarm. More Zerglings pop in there. Now Mutalisks there, going to try to take out those tanks. Zerglings are going to mop it up right quickly. So for now, GGPlay has held Leta off. Leta obviously knows that should have been a little bit more successful than it was, but meanwhile, just going to try to get down another expansion. GGPlay putting down 2 sunken colonies at the 5 o'clock, and he's definitely going to need another base. Meanwhile, also putting down another hatchery for production purposes. Has Defilers out there. Just really doubting how much he has, how long he can hold off. He needs more gas going now. He has very little gas. He has to expand around a little bit more. Zergling have their spot an SV flying around. That command center has been built, so now it has to be floated into its proper position. Zerglings there and Lurkers there trying to position themselves. Ooh, irradiated going off on one of the Lurkers. Oh man, GGPlay not separate. Oh, there's going to be damage done by that irradiated Lurkers. Going to damage his fellow friends, but or maybe not. Just dies itself. Science was also being floated away, not necessarily anymore. Scourge around. Going to see if they manage to kill Science. I wonder if they can hide in Dark Swarm to make the other play and not notice them. 2 starports now out, so it's going to be just full-on Science Vessel going. If Leta manages to take down a 3rd base, manages to get a 3rd base going, a 3rd gas going, he should be able to pump a lot of ground forces, some tanks, as well as Science Vessel alongside. As long as he keeps those Science Vessels alive, he's going to be pretty good. So, has indeed now taken his base, his 3rd base. I'm going to see how that gets rest. Ooh, Lurkers and Zergling moving in now. Oh, Lurkers just getting under the Dark Swarm. The Scourge are not going to be able to take out the Science Vessel. All of these tanks are going to go down. As Lurker's going to stay in that position and prevent Leta from moving out. Although there is an irradiate that did go off on one of the Lurkers, and one of the Lurkers is going to die. Again, more Scourge, Defiler, and Zerglings, and probably Lurkers somewhere around there too for GGPlay. He probably still has some of his Mutalisks around, although I think a lot of them died in that engagement in the middle. Don't know how many of these still has alive. GGPlay now trying to get another base. Let's be careful. There are Medic Marines. They're just waiting for him to do something. Oh! Random Science Vessel being caught by random Scourge. You know, it just happens when people not pay attention. Yes, sometimes we gotta hope for another Dark Swarm going off. Although, some of the Lurkers not burrowing under the Dark Swarm. Ooh, 2 Radiates going off on 2 of the Lurkers, so he's doing it pretty well. Although the Defiler does manage to get off a Dark Swarm, they just move up into that expansion. So that Science Vessel, that command center is going to be floated away.